All right, 2 seconds ago we got done with the last video. We're starting right back in with this one. So we ended up getting some new fenders for this trailer, and we figured now would have been the best time to get things cleaned up on the trailer where underneath where the fenders mount. It was all nasty looking. So they needle scaled it, wire wheeled it, POR'd it, and then they put black paint on that section. So the lower section, they blocked it out or whatever. Did the back, part of the tank, the top of the tank where the load ports are, and then they did the very front of the tank as well. They did the fenders that go over the drives. I ended up ordering new sheet metal for the right hand side, and I've got a piece coming for the left as well. They put POR on it anyways, and maybe I'll just leave it there and save that piece of metal. But yeah, they did the front of the trailer as well. So what we're gonna roll into now is we're going to start installing these aluminum fenders. They should outlast the life of this trailer. This trailer is a 2016 model. It will be 8 years old here next month. These metal trailers take a beating running in the salt. Other than the rest of the trailer, it's just in this area on the chassis above the wheels. Probably a better fender to have on there would be one that totally encloses the tire, but then that's a lot of work to put tires on and brakes and everything like that. We've got a couple other pieces going on this, and then they're going to be rolling a truck in here in a little bit, working on a transmission on that. So that's what we're going to roll into here. All right, so this is what they're working on right at the moment. This is truck 12. And a couple of weeks ago, they started this truck up one morning and let it air up, and it wouldn't move. And it was leaking oil out the bottom here. And I don't know if you could see up in here, but the input shaft is completely blown apart on the transmission. So we've got another transmission to go into it. It was about 2 weeks prior to it blowing up. The PTO was locked in gear one morning. Jered took the shift cover off and he found pieces down in the actual PTO. So we knew the transmission had something going on in there. We weren't exactly sure what, but it came to fruition here a little bit ago. What's that? So they're gonna get this ready to come out. Jered ordered a transmission a while ago. That's here somewhere. And him and Christian will get that rolled in there. Fun stuff. All right, here is what we have going on at the present moment. It is the following day. They've got the transmission out of truck 12, and as you can see, we've got the clutch in pieces. We've got the input shaft of the transmission kind of all wallered up. We've got some of the casting all broke out, and it is not a happy looking unit. Now, back about 6 or 8 weeks ago, the guys went to use this truck, and when they started it up in the morning, the PTO was engaged and they couldn't get it to come out of gear. So Jered pulled it in the shop, drained the oil out of it, pulled the shift cover off the PTO, and there was a piece of metal stuck in the shift fork of the PTO. It allowed that gear to stay, to keep it engaged. So he cleaned that piece out, put a new gasket on the shift cover, put the shift cover back on, put new oil in it, and he said, we're thinking this transmission's on borrowed time. So when this transmission blew apart, it was about 10 degrees that morning. Got up to about 40 degrees the day before. The truck was parked on soft ground. Well, you know what happens to the ground when it goes down to 10 degrees, it gets hard. So one of the guys went up to start this truck, got it started up, airing up, and he discovered that the truck wasn't going to move. One of the other trucks wouldn't move either. So he says, I'm going to go down and get a chain and somebody to help me, and we'll get that truck pulled out of the way. He came back up to it, and there was a lot of oil on the ground. I don't know if the truck was still running or not, but it blew the transmission apart. We're assuming something got lodged in the gears to blow that apart like that and to break the input shaft on the transmission. The clutch is all broke out. The flywheel is okay. We're lucky we didn't ruin the end of the crank or what have you. So we really don't know what happened. We don't know if something failed in the transmission to do that, or if one of the other guys thought that he could get the truck to move and jumped in there to be a hero of the day. We're not sure. So we're just going to run with, we don't know what happened to it. Could be operator error. Could be a catastrophic problem inside the transmission. So that's what we're looking at, the bottom of the transmission, or the side. 2, 4. That's the side. Top and side, right? Yeah. No, that is the bottom. Yeah, what am I thinking here? So the PTO would bolt to this part of it here, and it is what it is. So we'll run over next door, and it also ruined the plate that goes on the front of the transmission, but Jered has another one here. So we'll go over next door. We've got fenders on the trailer. We've got to finish with that process, putting lights on or whatever. Sarge did put a lift axle tire on there, some new tires on the other side. Took the one good tire, put it over on this side. We also have this brass valve to replace. It's got a hole in it. Now another project we're working on, we have to get this going here right now, is this Kubota skid steer. Now you're probably wondering, geez, how has the Kubota skid steers been? Well, this is our third one. We bought this between Christmas and New Year's. It's got about 220 hours on it, 240 hours on it, and it has a hydraulic oil leak. I didn't film this when we got it. It just went right into service. I didn't have a chance to film the arrival of it when it was all clean. I figured that we would do a walk around when we got our chance to do one, and right now we're doing one with it mucho broke down. Probably just an O-ring on a hydraulic line. I've got to get it running. I've filled it with oil. We've got to inspect a few things, and we'll touch base with you once we figure out where it's leaking from. All in all, they're not a bad skid steer. We had trouble with the first ones, and we're hoping and praying that it was just something with those vintage skid steers. This is the same model as the one that's the other two prior, SSV 65. The guys like the Kubota because of the way the door works. The door goes up overhead. It's hand and foot controls. Some of the newer Deers that we have are hand controls only, and these guys have a hard time doing everything with their hands. It's too much function going on to be able to drive the machine forward and backwards and to be multifunctional. So the foot controls work a little better as far as that aspect goes. So we'll get into this and figure out where our oil leak is coming from and get this thing back in service. Yeah, that was loose. Wasn't too awful tight. Get some light down in here. Get my headlamp on. Ah! Alright, should have came in with my light on anyways. This looks like flat face. Yeah, flat face. I gotta get a pressure pick for that. can't get it with my fingernail. Alright, we're coming in here with O-ring. I had a loose
hose?
hydraulic hose.
So I was wondering if maybe you had an O-ring that went bad down in there.
Well, I'm popping the O-ring now.
Yeah, she got
Yeah, it's got a
little burr right there.
little rippied.
Yeah, time for a new one on that.
Yeah, because it got loose, the oil was able to pressurize itself through that spot and ruin the O-ring. So, we'll get a new O-ring for it.
At least kind of a simple fix, you know?
I don't know if you guys could see that when it was in the machine, but this O-ring is bad, and what caused it to do that is that fitting loosened up, and the oil would have found its path out through there, and being pressurized oil running by that O-ring, it tore it. So we'll just get a new O-ring. Get it put in there. It's no big deal. This stuff happens on this new stuff. It vibrates a little bit, and some of these things you find that weren't tightened up enough at the factory. It has nothing to do with what make or color. They all do it when they're new. That's why you got to look this stuff over every once in a while. Alright, we're crawling back in here. Slap this new O-ring in, put our line on, and we'll get this out of here.
Hey, where's my shirt? T-shirt? Where's my sweater? What the fuck kind of business are you doing here? Well, the horn works. Disassemble this track trailer. Alright, something out there. Side of the tank, that's what these are.
Oh, nice.
Real quick.
Yeah, right in here. It's fine.
And then Jered's new toolbox.
Really? On the same load?
Yeah, it's all the way in the back, so.
Nice. Alright, we got that tight. Had to use a regular end wrench. Crescent wrench was a little too goofy. There's a time and a place for them. And this job wasn't really the job for a crescent wrench. We'll get this out of here so it doesn't burn. We'll get this started back up. And then we'll see how we do. Well, while we were working on this skid steer, you noticed the door go off while we had a delivery. One item was a toolbox that Jered ordered. The other item was these flat panels for the front fenders on that trailer. What is the deal with this toolbox? Was it a scratch and dent, or is it just something you ordered? Regular order? No kidding. So this is a US General Series 3. It's a 72-inch box. I've got a 72-inch box over there. And this one is, the drawer configuration's a little different on this one. We'll show you that once we get it down off the pallet. We had to open this up, get it all open while the trucker was still here, just so that we were sure there wasn't any damage because the center of the pallet screwed itself up. But if you happen to notice, this has got larger drawers on that right-hand side than, I guess it's completely different. Left hand and right hand side. But some of these toolboxes, the trouble we've noticed with them is the shallow drawers. There's really not any way to put socket organizers or anything like that in them. I guess that, yeah, everything's a little different. The drawers here, these small drawers are, there's really not, they're just barely deep enough. But we've got a Milwaukee box that it's got a couple of drawers that are only about that deep, and they're kind of worthless altogether. What'd you have to pay for this one?
You paid $1,000, scratch and dent.
Scratch and dent. Let's find out where the scratches are. Where are they? Oh boy, right here, Jered. Look at all these scratches.
Oh God.
They're wiping right off.
No, there's a dent there. I really wanted an icon, but
No.
I didn't have one.
Oh, is that what they pictured, was the dent? That's what it was? All it was is that dent right there. I could punch that other side over there and it'd look the same. Yeah.
That's the best thing to do right now.
Yeah.
Factory. Where's the handle? What handle?
The keys are in this upper box here.
There's a handle right here. And not some,
Oh, you got the handle kit. Perfect. All right. I better get back to it here then. We got some cardboard to burn. And the whole 9 yards.
Scrap that too, huh?
Yeah, that ain't worth nothing.
Garbage. Huh?
Oh, that pallet. I mean, he brought it out lengthwise, and the whole center of it was, I worried that the bottom of the toolbox had a cave in on it, but that's all tubing underneath there. This toolbox you could lift with a forklift with it loaded. Yeah. Unlike them other ones where they're all just formed channels. This has got tubing. Thought I seen tubing. No, it's just formed channels, formed angles. Yeah, all right.
Just hate this.
We better get this thing buttoned up. We've got our hose tight. We had to use a 1 7/16" wrench to get in there. The crescent wrench was a little clumsy, so we'll get this thing started, let it run. And make sure we don't have any other leaks here. Well, here is where we're at on this project. We're just about done with this. We ended up getting a new panel for this fender that sits above the drives on the road tractor. Fenders are all installed, mud flaps, lights, the whole 9 yards. However, I ordered some 1-inch wide DOT tape. All the DOT tape that I have is 2 inches. And that's not quite 2 inches there. We're gonna be upward a radius a little bit here. It's just gonna fall off. So 1 inch is gonna do us there. However, we need some more parts for this. Jered didn't bring it to my attention until just a minute ago that this flopper valve and this diversion box here that takes it from agitate, or not agitate, but load or spread. He got in here and he welded it. It was leaking, so he welded the gate shut. So we have to get this box here. We do have a new brass valve. The brass valve had a mucho hole in it. He welded this right here, right? It looks like a bead of weld.
Yeah, because it was broke off in here and it was going up.
Yeah. So what it was doing, yeah, that's right. It was going up on its own and it was fluctuating and it wouldn't unload the trailer. It was just deadheading back into this capped spread plate, which is full of sand. It's got it right full, stacked right full. So I got to call down to the parts guys here and get one of these boxes. I thought we had one of these, but we don't. We'll cut this hose, put a new hose on it, stack that in on top of the fan housing. Jason's just going through now and touching up some spots with some rattle cans. So we'll pull this out here tonight, drain it, wait for the parts to come in, bring it back in and put that stuff there on there, and then this tanker will be all done. How you coming on the 8110?
Just putting lights on. Where are your loom holders?
That's right, I gotta put loom holders on. They're in a box upstairs.
Really?
Why, you need some?
Yeah.
Yeah. So he's been going and putting the finishing touches on this 8110. He ended up putting a 2-way radio on it, FM stereo, new speakers. He's got a cab kit coming for it, which we talked about. He's buttoning up the back end of it. Right there on the floor, Jered. Right there. Somewhere right there. Around the corner of that little black box. On the floor behind you. Right there. So, this will be closer to getting done here soon. He's got one flasher light. I don't know if he's got it yet or not, but he only ordered only ordered one. Wanted to make sure that it was gonna fit, and it does. So I don't know if he's got that other one here or not, but that is just about gonna wrap things up for this video. There's not much more to see here other than what you see. And it'll be a few days before we actually get this to the point where we're done and have it back out and going here. So that is gonna do it for this one, right, Nathan? You got a thought of the day?
No, not.
No, Tim's got a thought of the day. What's your thought of the day?
Sunshine.
Yeah, there you go.
We got sunshine, warm weather.
All right, what do you think?
Looking good.
Yeah? When you gonna put the first dent in it?
You want it in the back, the side, or the front?
That's a good one.
Maybe the bottom? Oh, wait a minute. Maybe not the bottom.
All right. Well, yeah. It's gonna do it, right, Timothy? Yeah, you gotta get polishing them.
You can, but...
Yeah. All right. Well, that's gonna do it for this one. Take it easy. I'll catch you at the next one.